All right, welcome back, everyone, to It's Just Coffee. My name is Kirk Pearson.
And my name is Rohan Kirk.
And together we are It's
Just Coffee.
Okay, we'll get the round of that shortly. But hey, we've got the guys from Good Measure, Brandon and Mitch. Welcome.
Hey, how you going?
What's up?
What's going on there? No good?
No, we're good.
Sorry.
I wanted some air horn for the...
That could be the air horn signal. Well, thank you for coming on, guys. I guess everyone will get to know these guys, if you don't already, what they do. They co-run a shop called Good Measure down in Carlton, Lygon Street, Carlton. So look forward to unpacking some of that. And welcome back to the show, Rohan.
Yeah, thank you.
Even though you're a regular co-host. But we start off every week with some coffee news.
Love some coffee news.
I'm going to get started here. According to the latest data from the National Coffee Association, this is in America, over 2/3 of American adults reported drinking coffee the previous day, which is more than any other beverage, including tap and bottled water. The NCA says this has increased by 37% since 2004, marking the highest level in 20 years. What's more, the amount of people in the US drinking specialty coffee in the past week has also increased by 7.5%. So they're drinking more special coffee. It's not just diner coffee over in America.
Absolutely. When I was living over there, you could see that rise starting to come, especially going off that drip side. There was a lot more espresso coming in. So that rise is definitely happening over there.
Yep. Okay. Well, a lot of them come over here and come to the shops, and I guess you guys would experience this as well. I just want a cup of coffee. They just say, okay, well, which one?
Yeah. Milk on the bar and cream on the bar, isn't it? They've got all sorts of weird.
What's creamer? It's
creamer.
Not just cream.
I don't know what it is. Just
creamer.
I don't know if it's like a half and half. It's like often flavored. Yeah, it was interesting. They'd always have those bars sitting over there where everyone come and like make their own concoctions on the side.
But they don't ask for cream. They ask for creamer. I was like, is that like an action? You know, creamer. Am I supposed to froth this manually for you? What makes it a creamer? I don't know what creamer is. An artisan roastery based in the Finnish capital has introduced a coffee blend that has been developed by artificial intelligence in a trial which is hoped that technology can ease the workload in a sector that traditionally prides itself on manual work. I don't know, is AI making a blend really that
I don't think it's necessary at all.
I don't know.
No.
It seems a bit ridiculous.
You really can't just blend it up yourself or think of it. Maybe you can like artificially know how to blend the coffee to produce a certain taste.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe there's something more interesting out there. You just see a lot of the same blend ratios going around from cafe to cafe.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's not needed in that department. Maybe they're just testing the boundaries of AI or
Agreed.
getting.
Sounds like they just asked ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Maybe they
I
did.
feel like anyone could do that. I kind of just want to try that now.
Maybe we should do it. Come up with another signature drink. You can come up with the next famous
that's a good
one.
idea.
Yeah. We had, what was it? I saw a restaurant the other day. We're like, we're doing an AI menu. We've put in all of our menus from when we started and it's going to create one for them. So I'm like, who cares? It's just taking what you've done and just pick your favorite ones that you've made over the last few years and put it on a piece of paper.
Where it will be cool if it's like, say, for example, you've got, I'm a big fan of wood-fired pizza, and I doubt you could do it with wood-fired pizza, but if you've got like a pizza oven, for example, and you're trying to make the perfect pizza and you can calibrate it to like cook the ingredients and stuff, or I don't know, maybe an AI pizza one day would be pretty good.
All right, I'd like to see it. And finally, the last piece, I'm going to jump in and take this one.
Okay.
Sydney, just in a recent poll, Sydney triumphed, coming in third place as the best coffee in the world, beating Melbourne, which came down in 10th place. So that was the list that was put out there. And I've got some pointing going on here, so there might be some opinions that we've got to hear. I've got the full list, but what are you thinking?
No, I'm not going to say anything yet. I'll hold it for later.
Well, here's the full list that we've got going on. We've got 10. Coming in first, we've got Copenhagen in Denmark. Second, we have Japan, Tokyo. Third, we had Sydney. Fourth, San Francisco, which I can say I lived in San Francisco. It is not fourth. Milan, I feel like they just wanted to put somewhere in Italy because it's definitely not going to be in the top coffees in the world. Lisbon.
I would say to most people, point to Lisbon on a map. I bet they couldn't.
Yeah, point to Lisbon. Tell me about their coffee scene that's happening over there. Then we've got Amsterdam, London. We've got Cape Town. Cape Town coming in over Melbourne. So I'm going to, I'm happy to give Sydney their credit, but I'm going to discredit this list and say that is trash.
That is trash.
Yeah.
Cape Town doesn't even have a water reservoir full of water. They're like, the whole city's running out of water. I don't even know how you can have better coffee than us, but...
Where's Korea?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Korea?
Where the only Asian country on there is Japan.
That's...
Korea is definitely one of the ones going up. I also think Japan... Don't think they're there yet. I think they could get into pushing into the number one spot at some point. I mean, they deserve to be on this list. I don't know if it's number 2. What do you think? You spend a bit of time in Japan, right? Both of you.
Yeah, I reckon Japan's way up there. I wouldn't say it's number 1. I would actually probably throw Seoul, Korea, as number 1.
Motion.
Those guys are crazy what they do. It's just all in. Some of those cafes are just mind-blowing. But Japan's great. I think they go very deep.
Yeah.
And they open a lot. Like they work hard. They don't stop working ever.
They've got like a very concentrated amount of micro roasteries as well. It's like it's kind of like here on steroids in a way. Like we've got cafes, but a lot of roasters in Korea, which I found surprising when I visited. And I really, really enjoy Korea, not just for the coffee, like for the fun as well.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been to Korea. I've done Japan, and the coffee scene is great there. My thoughts would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'd go Japan is that kind of level of craft, precision, kind of crafting the coffee to that high level. From what I've read from some of the coffees I've tasted here, Seoul and like Korea feels like it's just innovating, it's just pushing, it's just going to take coffee to that next level. Something that, people talk about Melbourne as being the best coffee city in the world, but we've kind of sat stagnant for the last little while and there hasn't been that innovation, I feel. So maybe that's where Seoul kind of takes over.
Seoul's been doing it a long time too. I feel like they were always in the background pushing it. They've been pushing it for a very long time. Like we went there, almost 10 years ago now?
Yeah.
With like with a cafe that we were working at. The whole cafe went to Korea. And even then, I was just like, my mind was blown. But going back a couple of years ago, they're still going so strong.
I'm gonna lead into the questions with this. How did you guys meet? So there's another business partner who's not here, Max.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I've not actually met Max, but I don't know if I have or not. But how did all three of you guys meet?
Brandon and I met at a cafe we were working at together, Little Rogue in the city. Like Little Rogue, Buckeye Mono. I feel like most people know more now, but Little Rogue's their original shop just across. Brandon was working there before, and then I got hired. Brandon was a manager, and we didn't get along very well.
I was going to say, what are the stories? Do we have any, can we bring him down a peg right now?
Oh, man.
How was he when he first started?
He was way better than me. And the level that we were trying to achieve there was so painful, and especially Brandon's expectations were very high. So I hated going to work and working with Brandon until I kind of got through that barrier, and we actually ended up, I feel like I got the tick of approval. I'm like, oh, cool, everyone likes me now, So, we met there and then worked together for a really long time there and built a really, really good, strong friendship. Best friends.
Oh, best friends.
Best friends.
Look at you two. So
best friends opening a cafe. And then Brandon entered the cocktail scene, and that's how you met Max, yeah.
Sorry, could you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so I'd leave coffee after working in the industry for a number of years, and just wanted to see a bit more of hospitality, not just coffee, but drinks of all kinds, service at the table, the dinner table, and, the evening side of serving guests. That's where I'd meet Max at a cocktail whiskey bar in the city. And then, we had always discussed opening a bar. We're sitting down in Heartbreaker one night and we're like, look, it's time. It's time to open a bar. We're sick of working for everyone else. Mm-hmm. Let's put it in for ourselves. And when we kind of looked at what we had available to us, the resources, the finances we had, we're like, yeah, look, we can do something small, and humble. But I've got another idea. There's a mate of mine. We always spoke about opening a cafe back in the day. What if I asked him if he wanted to open a venue? We could do something day and night, do something a little bigger, a little nicer, and make use of the space. So I think I called Mitch maybe while we were at Heartbreaker. He was living in Japan at the time.
It would have been a very loud phone call.
I was so sick. I think I had COVID before COVID was kicking off.
Yeah.
But I was in bed looking for a reason to go home, and then he called and I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
You're patient zero.
Yeah, I swear. It was crazy.
So what were you doing in Japan at the time that Brandon and Max called you?
I was a snowboard instructor.
Oh,
Okay.
you were shredding.
I was shredding.
You were shredding. Well, little known fact about yours truly, Rohan Cook. I competed vigorously in skiing and snowboarding as a young child.
right.
Came third in Victoria, sixth in the national championships. Did it pretty heavily. But then, of course, there just hits an age where I just stopped. And since then, since a teenager, I've probably only been 4 times.
There you go.
Well,
Whoa.
hot take here. I've never snowboarded or skied.
There you go.
And I'd
Live
love to.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's too late.
I'm going to try and go to...
You'll fall
It's too
apart.
late.
Yeah, if your shoulder's gone, your whole body's going to be
Yeah.
gone if you try
Yeah.
to go skiing.
Here I was about to say, I'm going to try and go to North America at the end of the year, and then you just say it's too late.
No, don't do it. You're too old.
The old bodies are not good up on the hill. I can attest. I went up and skied Tahoe, and boy, it was rugged. I was at least there though. At least there's like enough powder that you're like carving it up, and you can get like smooth.
Yeah.
When you go up to like Mount Buller or
Yeah,
anything, it's just like icicles, and the chatter on your skis are choo. Your thighs and your legs after you do some hard runs are just burning.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, but
I'm definitely just projecting here too, because I'll fall apart if I try and go snowboarding.
your body broken?
I'm just like, you can't do it because I can't.
Yeah. And I'm going to come back just because I always like these questions and I want to learn more about it myself. Coming into the cocktail game, I'll ask you, I know it's a hard one to answer. It probably changes all the time. But what's your favorite cocktail, or what would be like a go-to? And is there anything special about it? Anything you can share?
My favorite, this is actually funny because Brandon and I have quit drinking.
Well, there you go.
We don't drink.
What was
but
your favorite
What was
cocktail?
my favorite? I was an Americano guy.
Yeah, Americano. How about you?
White Negroni.
Ooh, the white Negroni. I do like a white Negroni. Can you explain to people the difference of the white Negroni for who might not know?
Yeah, so it's basically a more bitter, herbaceous take on the classic Negroni, which is always already quite a bitter cocktail. But you basically swap out the Campari for Suze, which is a gentian-based bitter aperitif. And then you swap out the sweet vermouth for either Cocky Americano, which is what I prefer, or Lillet Blanc, which is another French aperitif. And yeah, it's similar in sweetness, but just a bit more bitter and
can I ask,
herbaceous.
what caused you to stop drinking?
Too much drinking.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
That's for me anyway.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. I think but as we were just talking about getting old, it just doesn't fit into the life as easily. Yeah. And
Absolutely. It sounds like you guys are smashing like the work amount, trying to fit in, the personal stuff of sport and taking care of yourself. So
Yeah.
I can very much see that.
Yeah.
You probably had your fair share, I guess.
Yeah, had my time for sure. I'm not going to speak for Mitchell, but I think just out of necessity, really, just trying to manage the stress and the health that, what we do.
No, it's true.
The toll it can take.
And we'll get really into that. But I guess I want to shift our attention to the cafe now that you've started. It's been unambiguously a success. I always hear people talking about it. I have people coming into my cafe like, you should do things more like Good Measure. I was like, all right. And I actually met Mitchell before I even knew what Good Measure was, and before I knew what a Mont Blanc was. But I was your milkman for a little bit, so I started supplying you guys milk when I worked for a certain milk company. But so now you've got Good Measure, and I feel like I guess first question about that was, what was your expectation starting it, and what's been the reality?
Oh, man, that's a really hard question.
Because I imagine it could. My thoughts on this, what your answer could be is like, it could be substantially different from what you first thought it would be.
Oh, 100%. I can't even remember what we first thought it would be. I think we immediately learned, I think our first lesson was our biggest, which is like, you just got to be so flexible. You just got to read what's happening and just change and be ready to change everything for the business. You've got all these great ideas before coming into it, and then, yeah, it'll just go out the window.
I think we thought we would be more of a slow service filter bar when we opened.
Okay.
And that was initially why we approached the bar, a bit more of an open bar setup. People could sit at the bar, we could chat a bit more coffee with them, but it's not turned out that way at all.
And why hasn't it turned out that way?
too many people in the shop.
Okay.
I think stepping through just
And why
the
are
pace
there
of
too
service.
many people in the shop?
Well, let's spoiler alert. Can we hit the button? You've developed this drink called a Mont Blanc.
Yes.
So I would ask the first question: why the Mont Blanc? Why is it called a Mont Blanc?
It's actually inspired from a drink from another shop in Seoul in Korea called Milo Coffee Roasters, which is really, really good cafe/roastery. Probably the cleanest cafe on the planet. I don't think there's a cleaner cafe. You can't find a speck of dust in that place. And they have a drink called a Mont Blanc, and it's got cream and coffee. But that's pretty much as similar as it gets. But yeah, we got the inspiration when we took the name. Yeah.
So whose idea? Which of the three of you thought, oh, I want to have a Mont Blanc on the menu?
I reckon it probably dates back to when Brandon and I went there together. And
Okay.
like, because even back then when we were like 20, we were talking about our cafe, you know? And that was always a thing. We're like, Melbourne doesn't have this. Melbourne needs this.
How old are you now?
28.
Okay.
And for those at home that don't know, these guys will be humble with it. Like the Mont Blanc is everywhere. You've probably seen it internationally as well on that level. It's one of the biggest viral kind of drinks that I've seen kind of take off, which also after meeting you guys feels very like almost against the vibe of what you're doing, very like calm and doing this. And you've created like the biggest TikTok, Instagram like fad in the entire like coffee industry.
Yeah.
But they have lines out the door every day. I mean, they're making hundreds of these things. Are you able to talk about how many you make or?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many are you making during the week, on the weekend?
I think Brandon's got the numbers.
Yeah, I think Monday through Friday we do about 500 a day.
Not in the week, a day.
A day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And on the weekend we can do about 800 a day.
Oh. See, he got it. He got the
He's
air
getting the hang
horn.
of this podcast.
I saw you going for it. I was like, yeah, great.
I've got to say, like, there are cafes, like there are some smaller cafes that'll be happy if they're pumping out a couple of hundred coffees a day, let alone one specific. And that's just the Mont Blanc. That's not like your drinks as a whole, right? So that is insane numbers. That is crazy, especially for the weekend, 800 a day. That is amazing. How long ago did it start taking off? When did you know it was going to be like this kind of hit? And did you think it would hold on for as long as it has?
It took off probably the first month, honestly. We started getting people coming and being like, oh, Mont Blanc, this is so good. And then they come back and bring friends. And then, it just keeps doubling. I think after 6 months, we're like, all right, this is it. This is as busy as we'll get, And then another 6 months, we're like, all right, this is as busy as we get. We can't get any busier. Another 6 months, and it just kind of kept going. So no, I don't think we ever expected it to get to where it is now. But now we believe it'll probably keep going.
Yeah, now you're like at the point
Okay,
where
we
you're like,
get
I feel
it.
like
We're just
we've
gonna
done something
keep.
here.
We're just
Yeah.
gonna keep building, and I think part of that is like us meeting that demand and desperately never selling out or trying our best not to sell out. We've sold out like never, pretty much.
Never.
And when you say sell out, you mean actually sell out, not sell out as people.
Yes.
Well, it's so interesting because I feel like what you guys have done have actually kicked off a wave of different ideas for the industry as a whole in Melbourne. So Rohan and I both got contacted by the same publication in the US, and I think we both cited, they were asking us why Starbucks is getting popular in Australia, and I was like, well, it's not just like because of the signature drink sort of thing. And I said, well, it's specialty cafes, and one in particular, Good Measure, doing the Mont Blanc. Did you cite the same reason?
As a whole, I didn't cite the Mont Blanc specifically,
Okay.
but I was like, talking about the signature drink, that side of things.
Yeah, and so it's kind of kicked off this. Now I see tiramisu lattes, I see creme brulee lattes, I see strawberry matcha and all these other things. So I kind of feel like you guys were helped kick that off in Melbourne.
We were the first.
Oh, hey, kick the button. Okay, we were the first. I like it.
Don't forget it.
And so what? And what's been some of the challenges with it? Because there's the perception delivering for people, which I feel like you guys have been able to do pretty consistently. But what have been? I'll ask you, Brandon. What are some of the challenges of making this many Mont Blancs a week?
It's pretty tough on the wrists.
Okay, all right.
On a weekend day, it's pretty tough. But I think when you start to approach the volume that we're doing, consistency becomes the biggest issue.
Okay.
Making sure the product stays consistent and stays of quality, and you're able to get it out, efficiently and effectively to the people who come for it, I think. And it comes down to a whole bunch of things: when we brew it, how we brew it, what coffee we're using.
The coffee part, I understand, has been a bit of a challenge from time to time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, coffee's a seasonal product, and we're not skimping on the coffee. We're using a pretty premium, a very premium product, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you work with your roaster, as I understand, quite closely, getting enough of the coffee to be able to brew in store.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, the current setup is Alan over at Code Black, the head roaster. We do a little cupping with him whenever we're getting low on whatever we're running, and we'll try a bunch of coffees ranging from, cheap and easily accessible up to Sidra. And we're just like, how will this work? Can we make this work? How much can we buy? Will that bring the price down? And just trying to find the best product that kind of meets that affordability. Because, we've cut down Mont Blanc. I mean, it's funny, there's a lot of knockoffs now. Ours is still the cheapest, which is crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
How have you managed to do that? I guess just producing so many in volume.
Quantity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
And in terms of the business, have you had to make any other changes? Like obviously with that kind of demand coming in, have you had to, I know you were talking about adapting earlier. Have you had to adapt the business? I mean, we spoke earlier and you were mentioning that even the bathrooms needed to be adapted because as you might know, the Mont Blanc has a fair bit of cream in it. So that can have some side effects.
Yeah, we had to upgrade our toilets. I mean, the initial bar setup was built for cocktails and things. And we've basically, it's mostly used for making Mont Blancs now, really. Yeah, so lots of little things like that. Just, once again, being as flexible as possible.
Yeah, sweet.
Guests do be scrambling for the bathroom after 2 Mont Blancs.
Yeah.
Do people go back for a
Are people
second?
doing 2 Mont Blancs?
They're doubling up?
Yeah.
It's a double Blanc.
No pun intended.
The Mat LeBlanc.
And you'll also do it hot as well, won't you?
Yes.
So how does cream go on a hot filter? Does it treat well? Or?
Deliciously.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll have to try it sometime. I don't have the stomach strength for that. I think I'll crumble.
Rock up with a little carton of oat cream. It actually works all right too.
There you
Okay.
go. So you got more of a
these?
Mont Blanc. You're just plonking one out straight after, are you?
Well, it's more like a Mont fire hose. Sorry to spoil it at home for you guys.
Visceral.
Yeah, quite literally. But to produce this much, you need a bit of plant equipment to be able to do it, right? So you were just explaining to us before we started how you're actually making the filter coffee, and you don't have to you give away as much as you like. I don't want to take away, give away your IP, even though.
It's been a journey. It started with just a little Fetco, and we'd probably spend 12 hours just making little 2.5 litre batches and pouring them into a big keg. And then it went to, Code Black were brewing it. I'd drive out, fill my poor Subaru up with 500 litres of Mont Blanc, and then bring it back and add all the extra things. And now we've got our own big coffee brewer that punches out 2 kegs, so 2 18-litre batches in 10 minutes. And it takes me 4 hours now to make 10, 12 kegs, which I do 4 to 5 days a week.
And that'll keep the system rolling. And you've got quite an interesting, you've got a full cool room set up that's hooked up to a, and I guess this is where the bar experience probably helped you a bunch, right? So you had some of the infrastructure there that you needed?
Yeah, I think, coffee on tap was an idea we had before we started, and there were a number of different coffee products we wanted to put on tap. I think Nitro Cold Brew, being a good example of that. Putting the Monty on tap, I think, was just out of necessity and natural progression. We were going through so much product. We simply could not pour from vessel to vessel anymore. We needed a tap system to hold the volume of Mont Blanc we're going through. So we hooked it up to tap, and it's been an efficient and effective way to get it done.
I mean, that must have been a game changer for you guys, stress-wise and work-wise and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was good to have that infrastructure already there because, I've never really thought about what if it wasn't there. I don't know what we'd do.
How do you go sort of trusting? So you talk about consistency. You want to deliver this product. It's obviously very important for the sustainability of the shop that you do. How do you go about sort of, say for example, you hire someone How do you go about training them and onboarding them to be able to deliver at the way that you do?
I feel like this is probably more your area at the moment.
You know, I think staff training and staff expertise is one of the biggest challenges for any hospitality business. And I think it really just requires hands on deck, you know, like Mitch and I are still there most days, making sure, you know, people are doing things the right way and, you know, the quality control is there and that we're catching things going amiss, you know. So how do we do it? Painstakingly, I think. Yeah, attention to detail and just staying committed to quality.
Is there ever a time where you're quite like fatigued by it all and you wish you had a day off but you can't? I'm sure there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so how do you sort of decompress on a day off?
What? You can,
What's a
you can
day
do
off?
that? You can decompress? That'd be cool. Yeah, no, honestly, I don't know. I go bike riding. And like that's a few hours of like just focusing on something else. But honestly, I feel like I'm sure Brandon's the same. Like every waking moment when you're not doing something like that, you're kind of in the back of your mind thinking about something to do with the shop. And initially I think it was pretty overwhelming, but these days I feel like it's fitted into my lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we started, it was very much the case of, okay, how's the best way I can get away from the stress? You know, how can I turn it off for a little while? But I think for me personally, shifting my perspective to, cool, how can I, organize my life in a way that facilitates a better me to be able to meet the demands and challenges that, you know, work brings at times. And yeah, that's, you know, staying healthy with your body, staying hydrated, eating well, sleeping well, not too much coffee, all those kinds of things.
I'm going to write down those notes. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, drink water.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
I definitely have gone through the drinking coffee thing because my sleep is I'm a bad sleeper naturally, and then coupled together owning a coffee shop and then the amount of coffees that you drink just through enjoyment and like really having to pare that back is a struggle at times. And not everyone talks about how much it dehydrates you, but like you said, staying hydrated as a barista is pretty important. And but I want to segue into another question. Let's start with the funny first. What are some of the funniest stories that you've had about Good Measure so far? I want one small one from each of you, if I may.
I'm going to say our neighbors, because we've opened on like a really old Italian, initially Italian, it's not super Italian anymore, street. Like it's pretty famous for that, but it's kind of died over the last few years. So our neighbors have kind of been running their businesses for a really, really long time. And the interactions we've had with some of these people have been like painful, but in hindsight, hilarious. Like incredible content. Like we've got this guy who stands out the front of our shop most nights, and he's got multiple cars with multiple custom number plates. One of them was I can't even say it, Sa Sexy. So he's like, yeah, definitely.
Sexy.
We love Sa Sexy. He just stands out there. He has his shirt up. He's like screaming at people. He says all this crazy stuff, and he just stands at the front. But like, low-key, we love him. He's hilarious, and he's always really nice to us.
Well, when people are listening in, if you've seen Sa Sexy cruising down the beautiful street, Lygon Street in Melbourne, let us know.
With his jelly bean phone. Yeah, definitely shout out Sa Sexy. Yeah.
Credit where credit's due, you know.
Yeah.
And Brandon, what have you got for us in the funny department?
I really like the names people come up with for the Mont Blanc. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Okay.
You know, you get a variety of different things. The Mountain Blanc, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
The Mount Beyonce, I've heard before. Very good.
Yeah.
Mount Balance.
Mount Balance, yeah.
All kinds of different mountains.
Do they just come up and say to you, oh, this is what it should be called, or they're feeling particularly in themselves that day and they...
No, it's delivered with confidence.
They read it once on a social post, forgot what it was, and just made up words.
Just threw something. Monte Carlo.
Oh,
People
yeah.
come up like, can I get a Monte Carlo? Like, what?
You
That's
should get
so far away
get a jar of biscuits, literally, and be like, yeah, there you go, Monte Carlo.
on the house.
Yeah.
Well, someone was talking to me about the cost of living the other day, and then they say cosy lives.
Cosy lives. Yeah, that's it.
Like I'm not with the TikTok and all these things these days, but cosy lives is one that.
I've heard that.
But anyway, I'm not in those fields. And then, what are some of the most stressful situations you've had?
Running a really busy business with just 3 people. 3 very different people.
I have fallen through the roof during service.
Oh, that was
pretty stressful.
what? Epic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one I feel like I want you to elaborate on more.
I also love the way of the delivery. Like, you're so cool, calm, and collected. It's like, one time I fell through a roof.
He was kind of like that when it happened too. He just kind of walked out nonchalant, and everyone in the room was like,
Was it real, like sitcom, like 2 legs just hanging through the ceiling?
Precisely.
Yes.
I was holding on to a support structure in the ceiling, trying not to fall through the ceiling.
So how did it happen? Run us through what
Yeah,
happened.
I need to hear this.
We've got a little, what would you call it? What would you call that roof
Loft.
space? Loft. Yeah, above the bar, we have a false ceiling and access to it. We were initially storing some things up there. We have decided since not to, since a particular incident. But yes, I was grabbing some stock from the loft and I stepped on a weak point and basically fell through the roof.
Yep. And so could customers see your legs sort of dangling or?
Yeah, it was a busy Saturday service.
And did you close the shop or?
No.
Okay,
No, the
you
show
pushed
must
through.
go on, yeah.
Okay, I like that. Were
I
you,
hope they just left you there for the rest of the shift. Like, we'll get you later, man. We're too busy right now.
were you injured at all? Like, did it cut you or like?
Some minor bruising.
Okay.
And
That's
a
all.
little ego bruising.
That's all.
No electrical faults because of that. Just roof fell through.
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't there, but what I heard was Brandon legs come through the roof. Brandon legs slowly go up, and then Brandon comes down and acts like nothing happened. And it was just business as usual, back to work. No one even talk about this.
Yeah, I asked,
I
who
love
stopped
that.
the music?
Yeah, that's right. The music, the music stopped. That was right. Because we play records. We don't play Spotify or anything. So, you know, when a record stops, the music stops. And apparently his legs went through and the music just cut. So it's just like bang, legs out, no music, everyone just dead silent.
I really hope there's footage of this somewhere that I can see sometime.
No, you had to be there.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, on our security system that's fully functional.
Yeah. We're definitely covered. There's definitely
The cameras work, and we have footage of it.
Okay. Well, I've got a few rapid fire questions, if I may.
Oh, wait. I want to hear this last question. I want to hear this last one that we had on there. Obviously, being so popular on the Mont Blanc, are you just sick of bloggers and people in there taking photos and doing this? Like, is it out of control? How do you deal with it?
No, we love them.
Yeah.
We love free content.
Okay.
Yeah, keep coming.
All right. Well,
Yeah, well, there you go. I'm sure.
I can't
it's made
believe if you haven't tried a Mont Blanc, that's crazy.
Yeah.
oh, but that
That's
is messed
crazy.
up,
I
man.
can't believe it.
I don't endorse
You
that.
call yourself a blogger and you haven't tried the Mont Blanc?
Yeah.
The Mont Blanc.
Wow.
Guaranteed
Mount
1 million
Balance?
views for your little Insta channel.
Haven't even had a Monte Carlo?
Yeah. The new variation.
Yeah, Mont Beyonce I liked, but who's the most? Have you ever had like a famous person rock through? I'm gonna roll off the tongue here. I had Eric Banner come and buy a coffee off
What?
once. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Eric
Banner?
Yeah, Eric Banner.
Oh.
And he said, "Can I have a latte, bro?" And I was like,
Yeah, bro.
You call me anything you like, Eric."
Did he do Poiter for you?
No, what's Poiter?
Oh, wasn't, what was he on? Was it Fast Forward, or there was like a comedy show where he like cut his teeth? He
Yeah, no,
played
did-
Poiter.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. But
Okay.
my favorite roles of his, number one would have to be as Hector in Troy. Anyone else see that?
No.
No.
Not coming to mind.
Then I'd say Chopper.
Yes, I remember now.
Chopper.
Yeah. He was, and so he had that great big fight scene with Achilles. Unfortunately, he lost.
Yeah.
But then, Chopper, Uncle Chop Chop. That
Because he
good.
was a comedic actor before all that. He was on like the Australian like comedy circuit and stuff.
It was genius.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he was in The Incredible Hulk as well, like one of the earlier editions.
Yeah.
So you haven't had a famous person of note come through?
No, not really. I don't blame them. We're too busy too. They'll get swamped.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Surprised you didn't get T Swift and Travis Kelce
Yeah,
dropping by when
no.
they were in
Harry
town.
Styles didn't
Yeah.
pop through when he was in
No.
town.
No, he was just chibbying it up.
I reckon they just send other people. We get a lot of people just kind of pull up in Teslas and just like jump out, grab coffee, jump back in, drive away.
Oh,
It
yeah.
happens a lot. So
Would you say takeaway is like more than 50% of your business, or do a
Yes.
fair bit of takeaway? And because what would you say about the takeaway experience of the Mont Blanc? Because I feel like often there's, like with food, for example, a well-cooked steak doesn't go as well in a styrofoam carton. How do you deliver on the Mont Blanc takeaway?
I think it holds up pretty well. The hot version, like any other hot coffee. The iced version, it holds itself pretty well for a considerable amount of time, but some people do complain, or, they ask for, hey, I'm taking an hour's drive out to my friends. Can I get the liquid separate from the ice? Because I don't want it diluted and, ruined by the time I get there.
The deconstructed MB.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
It's like a IKEA but Mont Blanc edition. The build.
Exactly. Well, one of the stories I always love throwing out with IKEA is like the perceived value that people have when they build something themselves. They did this test where they gave people a piece of IKEA furniture. They were like, "How much would you sell this for?" They're like, $20. Then they got them to build a piece of furniture themselves. They're like, "How much you sell this for?" They're like, "At least $100," just because they put their hands on it. So maybe that's it. The deconstructed MB.
Labour costs.
Yeah.
Got Jamie Thompson trying to barge in. Come in.
You can let him in.
Oh, yeah.
JT in the house.
Just to start
Podcast
the
number
podcast.
2. Walking in.
Yeah, you're later. But one thing that probably helps the structure of the Mont Blanc, if I will, one thing I share in common with you guys is having a Hoshizaki ice machine. Those things are the best.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Which shape did you get? What was it?
Cubes.
It's the squares?
Yes.
Yep.
Is that what you got?
Yeah, you got the good one.
Okay.
Yeah, don't mess around with the oval ones. That's no good.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
no, don't. There's like a weak point in it, I imagine.
That's one of those things from cocktail bars though. Like I feel like not like people don't think about their ice, but in the cocktail industry, ice is everything.
Everything.
The good ice. It's so important.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably one thing I learned. I've got a good friend, Orlando Marzo. Do you guys know Orlando?
Yes.
He was back in the day. He used to be a regular customer, former world bartending champion. But he used to come and see me when I worked at St. Ali all the time. And yeah, he just imprinted into me one time. You need to have good ice for a good drink, and so Navy strength ice. I used to play around with a bit for cocktails, and you would know it.
Yeah, we use Navy Strength in the cocktail bar.
Okay, all right. So yeah, it's just really good quality ice.
Now, I cut you off before. I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk about the bloggers. But now, Kirk, can you hit us with some rapid fire questions?
Well, my rapid fire questions were the ones from up there. But
Oh, my God.
I think we got the.
Mate, we're just beginners here. We're rookies in the list. I just took them off.
Is this your first day?
Well, you know what? You got me nervous now. And I'm picking up a bit of a sweat.
I saw rapid fire down here. I'm just going off the sheet.
Yeah, but I'm picking up a sweat.
You're getting a bit sweaty. You are looking a bit sweaty.
I'm getting a bit hot.
Is it the lights of the studio? You look a bit
No,
gross.
it's not quite.
You look a bit smelly and sweaty.
I think it's time for something else though.
It's time for an extra hot take with 2 sugars.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Sorry.
I warned you guys before in advance. We wanted an extra hot take with 2 sugars, which is kind of our spicy take. So, Mitch, give us an extra hot take with 2 sugars. And down there, if you will, delivery.
Melbourne's coffee industry isn't that good.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're someone at the forefront of it. Why? What makes you say such a thing?
I think it's way overrated. It's been overrated for a long time. I feel like as you said before, that's why I didn't want to get into it, kind of stagnated quite a lot. And I feel like there's too much ego, not a lot of growth.
Okay. All right. So we had Melbourne down here at 10th.
Yeah.
Sydney ahead of us. Do you reckon that's deserved?
I was going to say it's not even top 5. Yeah. So 10th, I would probably, I think we're maybe 7.
Okay.
I can't.
So ahead of
name
Cape Town.
Yeah, what? Who? Also, yeah. Who's Lisbon? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't get that.
Sorry.
But that's a hot take. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what would you like to see more of?
I just want to see less ego, more learning. And I feel like the baristas have held themselves back over the past few years with just thinking they're the best and they can fake it. And it's just so obvious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably fair if you look at it this side. Like once you kind of get told that you're the best, it's kind of like, well, I'm not going to ask questions anymore. I'm just going to tell people what it is, and that could be completely wrong.
I'm a barista in Melbourne. Like I know everything. Don't question me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me tricky
I
questions.
saw a meme today.
Don't ask me what TDS means.
Okay. I saw a meme today, and it was some guy saying, "It's good to be back in Australia. The only place where I've not heard Australians moaning, you can't get a good coffee around here."
Yeah, I saw that too. That's very good.
Yeah, true. Sorry, guests, but Australian coffee drinkers, you'd be pretty bad too.
Oh, okay. That's like a double hot take. Can we hit the button again? That's 2 hot takes in one. Oh, shit. Geez,
Yeah.
I really feel the heat coming from you. Brandon, did you have anything you cooked up in that time, or you're happy to leave it with Mitch?
Well, I'm going to leave it there with Mitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna keep going now.
I've got a bit of a hot take that I've got a bit of a confession to make, guys. A few weeks ago, I said this: Matcha, you suck.
Oh, come on.
Matcha, you're going down the toilet. Who wants to drink a carpet latte facing the dirt? Matcha. But I'm taking it back. Me and matcha are cool now. I like matcha.
What are you talking about?
Well, a few weeks ago, I said that I don't like matcha, and I said that matcha sucks and it tastes like carpet and all these horrible things. And I've come to the light side of the force. I'm a matcha guy now. I don't mind matcha. Well made. It's pretty good.
You are an idiot. I can't believe you can't come on here and have your hot takes where you're just throwing out that it's terrible, tastes like carpet, then just come back. I think it was like literally 2 weeks ago. And now you're going to tell me that matcha is good. Mate, I love doing the podcast with you, but sometimes I swear to God.
Well, I mean, but there's like so many different variants to it. I had a matcha and white chocolate cookie. It was really good. I was like, okay, maybe I can enjoy the real stuff. Then I've actually had from you guys a Basque matcha cheesecake. Is that what it's called?
That's right.
Do you make that in-house?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, it was
Shout out to Boy Bakery.
Boy.
okay, Boy Bakery. But that was really good. Then I've gone around to a few different places that do matcha in Melbourne. I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad.
Mate, you don't get the spirit of this show. You don't get the spirit of this segment.
Yeah, no take backsies.
I'm disappointed. I think you should need to stick with it. And I've got an extra hot take that I'm going to stick with. It's time to say goodbye to soy milk.
Oh, whoa.
We've had enough of soy milk. Soy milk came out as the first alternative that you could kind of get. So people had it, kind of got accustomed to the taste. But there are so many better versions now. There are so many better ones that pair with coffee. It's definitely like the 30-plus-year-old person that's just living in the past of drinking their soy milk. Enough soy milk. Try something different.
Okay.
Like cow's milk,
Real
real milk.
Let's go back. Enough alternative milks.
Okay.
People should only drink straight from the teat of a cow.
Okay.
Damn right.
Or the udder.
Nah, just kidding. Just drink oat milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, oat milk's pretty good. But I will say, though, in soy's defense, the soy chai is not too bad. I mean, if you're making a chai, I feel like soy is kind of the one
Yeah,
that
but
goes there.
I'm kind of going, I think this statement is more on the coffee side of things than just where we're doing it.
Okay.
I think in a chai, I'm not,
Yeah.
accounting for it in that side of things.
You're also risking a bad barista not knowing how to pour a soy.
Yeah.
Well, soy, for those that buy it, drink it, or unaware of this, it is the hardest milk to work with as a barista.
It chunks up. We call it cheesecaking when you
yeah.
pour in a coffee that has like a slightly higher acidity, and it just gets all those. If you're a soy drinker and you get all those little curdles around the side, that's what's happening. Quick tip for the baristas out there: it doesn't change it too much. If you make a little bicarbonate solution, a little bit of water, tiny little bit of bicarb. Check our channel if you want to see the actual recipe. Just look it up. You just drip like 1 or 2 drips into the espresso, give it a swirl, then the soy pours like dairy.
We did try that. It worked quite well. It was hard to implement on the bar though.
Yeah, if you're working fast and doing it a lot.
We had like a little dripple up and then just
Yeah.
but it, I don't know.
Didn't
Didn't fit in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We just trained them better to pour, smash it,
Yeah, you just got to hit it hard.
hit it hard.
Well, I've got one more question before we wrap it up, and that is, you were mentioning about doing sort of slow service stuff. Is that just completely gone now? You've had to change the business and you can't deliver that, or are you still doing the odd pour over here there?
We've done everything to try to make the environment still excellent as a guest. If you can get a table, you wait and you get a table. We do everything we can to make sure that it's like you're comfortable, you can be there as long as you want, you have a good time. Yeah. But that slow service is just hard to do in Melbourne.
Yeah, very hard, very hard. Well, we are going to wrap it up, guys. And
Yeah.
it's been excellent. So, did you have something?
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for coming by. And I'm really impressed with the dedication, the time, the effort put into your business. It's clear that you really care about the product that you're putting out and what you're putting out for something that's become so popular and so well-renowned. I really respect that. So thank you and congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And,
Thanks.
And I'd like to say, very since I met you, it's been. I guess you're both not public speakers. Would it be fair to say?
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's very nice that you came on the podcast and give people that are listening a sort of glimpse into how you guys roll and sort of the Mont Blanc in general. It's very, very kind of you to come on and elaborate.
Oh, cheers. Thank you. Yeah, we were driving and I'm like, I could just say my car's broken down. Car broke down, can't make it, but no. Thanks for having us. It's been really fun.
Well, for what it's worth, it's been excellent. I'm sure everyone at home learned something, and we always wrap it up by saying, guys, thank you so much. And it's
Just coffee.
It's just coffee.
It's just
There
coffee.
it is.
It's just coffee.
We got it.
We got it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.